Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. This is Sadhana, and today I'm going to take you on a tour of some, not all, some of the sacred spaces in my home. This is the altar that you see behind where I record my videos. And just a beautiful copper sphere sitting on top of a vase I found at a repurpose at a store at a market. And then at the very front there, you can see another amazing wand stick I found at the beach. And then my selenite wand and a copper wand. This is kind of my fairy corner. And here's some cards and various things that I've received from friends and from decks. And then here's a little fairy door that my daughter made. And you can see some other crystals, some pyrite, piece of amethyst. And in that little bottle there's some dried flowers and hummingbird feathers. And that was a gift from a friend, the same one who painted this card for me. She's a tattoo artist. And then over in the corner, I have a large crystal point that kind of clears and protects everything. And then my piece of shadowkite, which I use for intuition and connection. I often hold that when I'm doing readings. And then over here, there's 3 different decks that I'm working with right now. Recognize the Naked Heart. These are cards that I pulled today. And the Llewellyn, Braun the Blessed, and Tarot of the She. And I have little crystals all over my altars, usually with decks and different places. And then going up a shelf, hello, I have a bell. And I tend to pick up rocks at the beach every time I go there. And there's my Tirage statue. And see this Shiva Lingam in behind there. This I want to show you. This is really cool. This is a piece of rock that is attached to this shell. Can you see? And yeah, this kind of reminds me of yoga, union, how that there's just this amazing connection there. So that sits there. And like I said, on my altars, I try to have something representing all of the elements. This is an amazing piece that I picked up at one of my favorite crystal stores in Vancouver, British Columbia. That's a septarian egg. Comes from the bottom of the sea. And here's another little collection of rocks and rose quartz. Got some white sage. This is a picture my daughter painted, the same one who made the fairy door. More crystals. And here's some more treasures from various places. I posted this rock on Instagram. I found this black heart at the beach with this white line down it. And just a pot of crystals that I interchange and use for various things. Here's some of the other decks, guidebooks, things I'm working with right now. And a couple of oracle decks I'm working with in bags at the back. So this shelf I try to keep quite clean. I usually have a lot of candles burning here, and there's some incense to represent the element of ether. And this is my kitchen sink. So this is what I have on the little ledge in front of where I wash the dishes. So I have this collection of rocks, this little jar. Changes from time to time. Sometimes I dump it out and refill it and save my favorites. There's a little bit of sage there, and this beautiful palm stone. It's actually quite large, seraphinite. And then this piece, this rock, is really interesting. I found this at the beach. I just love all the little things that are embedded in it, as well as its shape. And then one of the things I tend to do is collect flat rocks. And these are always falling over, so that's kind of part of my daily mindfulness, is putting these back up. I did consider gluing them, but it's, yeah, I appreciate the the mindfulness, the daily mindfulness exercise. This cabinet is in my bedroom, so it's a little more private. And this shelf is dedicated to Sri Swamiji, Paramahans Satyananda Saraswati, my guru. And there is a statue of Krishna. The Vishnu, the peacock fan behind, I purchased at a Vishnu temple in India. And the Sri Yantra is at the back with this beautiful crystal point in front of it. And then this conch I received at the end of a training from a lovely teacher that was in India as well. And the Durga Statute. 32 names of Durga is one of the mantra I do each day. And this mala I received when I had my Jignas initiation. And from Swami Satsangi, who's here. Here's Swami Nirlanjan. So that's how I received my name, Sadhana, from Swami Satsangi, when I did my mantra initiation. And then this shelf, I have to bend down here. This shelf has quite a collection of items. Of course, I have sticks from the beach. I have sticks from the beach everywhere. Various rocks and crystals. That is a jade and a kshuk. And Tara. So we have, you'll recognize Ganesh there. So the reason I have Tara is it's a kind of a personal story. I might tell that sometime, but I have a deep connection with Tara. And then we have this beautiful wooden statue of Saraswati with some feathers. I think there's an owl feather there. Can't remember what the other one is. There's a bottle of Florida water hiding at the back. And then here is Lakshmi, Sri Lakshmi. And then we have Hanuman holding a little tiny Shiva Lingam. This was a rattle that I acquired at a shamanic training. And then the bottom shelf, various crystals and rocks. At the back, there is a celestite egg. And inside it, I put a bunch of other little crystals too. And this is a pot of citrine that I use for various things, and a couple of pendulums that aren't on chains right now. And this is kind of a cool heart. This is a Argentinian Onyx. It's really, really interesting piece. And this rock here, this piece of granite, used to be in my mesa, which I took apart and moved the rocks to various other sacred locations because I'm not practicing right now and not going to fire ceremonies regularly. And then I'll show you a few of the things in my Reiki room. So I have this little crystal grid here. And then I usually have an oracle deck, so I pull an oracle card for each of my clients when they have Reiki. That's the Blue Messiah oracle deck. And along my windowsill, I have various goodies, lots of chevron amethyst. Look at this beautiful one. It's a combination chrysocolla and malachite, I think. And there's another fairy door made by my beautiful daughter. This one's really pretty. This one was a lovely gift. This rhodonite heart was a gift from a student. And then I have this little table in lieu of a tokonoma in my Reiki room. You see Usui Sensei and Yamaguchi Sensei. And this is a smoky quartz piece here and a clear crystal egg. And I usually have, here's a pendulum. I usually have a pendulum for scanning. It's a tourmaline wand. And this beautiful dream catcher was made by one of my daughters. Not the one who made the fairy doors, another daughter. And this is over the head of the clients on the Reiki table. This is the little altar I have by my front door, somewhere I just stop and pause. Usually in the morning, I light the Palo Santo and offer some incense to this altar, sometimes as I'm going out. Try not to do it in a rush. And yeah, so I'll just share with you some of the things I have here. I really do try on all of my altars to have something from the sea, so representing water, and the earth, and the air. The ether is represented by the smoke that I offer every day. So I found this amazing wand at the beach, and it's covered in barnacles. It is so pretty. And I was going to decorate it, but I just thought I would leave it here. It's just the most beautiful, natural piece of wood. Here are some of my crystal hearts. This one is really pretty. This one is, whoops, I'm burning myself with the candle. This one is ruby fuchsite. Super, super pretty. This one is glass. This was made by a friend early in her glass blowing career, and yeah, so she makes these hearts and then donates the profits, or a portion of the profits, to mental health. I think all of the profits, actually. And then there's an emerald one in there, and there's a few palm stones with messages inscribed on them, and a couple of tiger's eye hearts. And then at the back I have a really pretty oyster shell that I found on the beach. So lots of water represented here, and then a feather I picked up, and a Buddha statue. And then over here I have a, of course, rose quartz heart. This is quite a large one, pretty special. And then underneath the little bit of Palo Santo that's here, oops, I have another shell and this beautiful quartz point. Underneath here, this is a rock I found at the beach, and it's one of many, which way? Maybe this way? It's a heart, a natural heart. I seem to find a lot of them at the beach, and so this one sits here, and I just keep the Palo Santo on it. And then I usually have a deck of cards on, not every altar, but most altars. And this altar I rotate. I have quite a few of these mini decks in the, it's just a little mini deck and in a magnetic opening box. And I draw a card for the day, and then I leave it here. And then if other people come into the house, they're also welcome to draw a card as well too. And so sometimes there's a few cards laying out on this altar. Thank you for joining me. And if you have any questions about any of the items on my altar, or why I place certain things where I do, please feel free to leave your questions in the comments below. Thank you. Namaste.